couple things about Michigan agriculture and then specifically to cannabis farming here. So first is, Michigan is the #1 blueberry producer of the United States, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. And when you do, you're like, okay, so that's something we should pay attention to. Number 2 is, I believe that we're going to find that Michigan actually has the longest history in cannabis outside of maybe California, but we just didn't know about it because it was very quiet. And now that it's legalized, I think you're going to have a lot more expertise coming out and being more vocal about what they've learned about cannabis for just generations and generations. So lastly is, being an agricultural state, and there's a lot of agricultural states, I think that what we need to consider is that cannabis can truly be a transitional crop or a rotational crop for farmers, and they're in desperate need of crops right now that can generate revenues for them. What's happening, I think, right now at scale is there's a lot of centennial farms that have younger generations that are seeing too hard of work and too little margins, and they're starting to divest their farm properties. So if we could offer them the ability to use cannabis as one of their rotational or transitional crops, I think that we're going to see those farming families stay in the farming business. And we really need that in the world right now, let alone absolutely in America right now, so that we can produce really quality, healthy foods for people too. Here at Grasshopper Farms, we have 160 acres here. And when we came to the Michigan market, we decided that we wanted to present the market with something a little different, a premium sun-grown flower. So out of that 160 acres, our local team decided that we were going to develop 40 acres of that. So we're standing right now in the middle of 32 acres of roughly 6,100 plants. And out of that, we have 20 beds. 19 of those beds are production beds, and one of those beds is an R&D bed. When I got into this industry, I was going around and I was setting up retail and indoor grow and manufacturing for another company, and I started seeing the outdoor growth. And I think part of it is, I come from California, I was around fields growing up, and I started seeing some of the outdoor farms, and I was immediately drawn to it. So it was an interest, a curiosity to start with. But then I started researching it, and I started seeing there's more reasons why to go outside. And part of that was an article that I came across from a 2011 study by a university that said at the time, in 2011, so 12 years ago, indoor grow was occupying 1% of the US power grid. So I thought to myself, I'm like, ooh, that's not sustainable. When we were researching different land throughout Michigan, we evaluated a lot of different properties. The place where we actually settled here in Paw Paw is totally suitable. First of all, we're surrounded by blueberry fields. If you can find tomatoes and blueberries around you, you're probably going to be in the right place. We also found that this particular location has a nice breeze going through it all the time, which really helps us take care of our plants. Wind going through the field helps us with pests and pathogens in a way that's very healthy for the plants, ultimately for the business as well.